started. What's the first letter in the word mosaic? That's right. So when I say mutual, you say respect. Mutual. Mutual.
Respect. When I say open, you say mindedness. Open. Open.
I want to thank everybody for being here and helping us to kick off our second decade of peace building.
Today, this morning, in this room, we're bringing together many different people, and we want to celebrate this. And we're going to do this Mosaic style. The name of this game is called Popcorn Firecracker Toast. And the way it works is we're going to call out categories. And if this category applies to you, we want you to pop up in body or spirit like some popcorn firecracker toast. Pop up if you have ever been hurt, teased, put down, or discriminated against.
It's Michelle Brown, the vice president of our board of directors.
No, honey, I'm not Michelle. I'm her great granddaughter. I'm here from the future. I must love this organization and I must love this work. To be standing here dressed as a future person. Yes. But I want to kind of shed my costume if that's okay with you. Is that all right? Because I want to share a story with you, and you're going to hear from other people who are committed to this work and why they love the Mosaic Project. When I was in the 4th grade, I was the chubby black girl, and my nickname was How Now, Brown Cow. Now, there was something about the rhythm of these words that was funny to my classmates, and I laughed with them, but it wasn't funny to me. Some days I was really popular, some days I wasn't. Some days I was invited to be a part of the lunchtime crowd, and some days I ate alone. And so elementary school was this really precarious experience for me. Some days up, some days down. Thankfully, I had a Mosaic Project moment. That's what I call it. A moment when I decided that I and my classmates were going to have to change. And it happened in the spring of my 4th grade year. A young man joined my class, and his name was Armando. And he came, in terms of my small hometown, from a place that was far, far away. It's called Mexico. Because we'd had so little exposure to this culture, he might as well have been from another planet. And I watched him try to fit in, and I watched him be isolated, and I just decided on my own I was going to be Armando's friend. And even though he couldn't speak a word of English, it was the funniest thing you ever saw. We just worked it out. You know, kids just work it out. And so I shared my lunch with him. He ate food he never thought he'd eat, I'm sure. I taught him how to play kickball, and he didn't really know how to run the bases. So I just grabbed him by his shirt and just took him around. And, you know, we just played. We just made it work. And I also decided that the other kids in my class had to be nice to him, too. Armando ultimately learned English, and I learned the language of compassion, of empathy. By 5th grade, Armando left our school. He had got a grasp of our school and the town, and on his last day with us, I ran into him. And he saw me, I saw him, and he came running toward me. I will never forget it. And he gave me a big hug. And he said, thank you. And those 2 words were enough. It was a kindness that warms my heart to this day. So many years later, when I would meet Laura Mendel, and she told me about her vision for the work, I knew that this work was important. It wasn't just important, it was going to be life-changing work because they're touching the hearts of children. And that's where the work has to begin.
So the definition that we use for stereotype at the Mosaic Project is a label. You have this idea about a whole group of people, this idea that you've heard around, and you slap it like a label on one person without even thinking of them as an individual. So one example we use at the Mosaic Project is maybe that with our students, is that maybe I have an idea, a stereotype, that all people who wear glasses are geeks. I don't have that, but let's say I did, that all people who wear glasses are geeks. So I see Brent, let's say I don't even know him, but he's wearing glasses. So my brain, I just stereotype without even thinking of it. And I slap this label on him. It's actually like taking a box, putting it over his head, and slapping the label geek on it. So what happens is I don't see Brett Dennen anymore. All I see is the stereotype. All I see is the label. All I see is a geek, a big geek. Now I've dehumanized him, right? And it's that dehumanization that allows us to treat other people horribly. So what we're asking students at the Mosaic Project to do is to really be aware of this and stop putting boxes on people, to get to know people for who they really are.
Mosaic is not just a trip up to Napa. It's actually a week where the children can actually go learn the values, practice them. And they do it in peace. They learn about peace. They come back. And it's very evident in the hallways in the fall when you see them coming around, walking around in the playground, and actually not doing the bullying, the put-downs. And they do now know what empathy means. And, you know, they can actually stand up and be allies for others. And that's why I continue to give.
I've been with Mosaic since I was around 7 years old when my sister came back from Mosaic when she went in 5th grade. And she brought home a CD that had all the Mosaic songs on it. So I put the CD in my little pink Hello Kitty CD player, and I would play the songs over and over again until I knew them almost by heart, and I would write down as much as I could in a little notebook so I could sing along. Finally, when I grew up, I went to... in 5th grade, I went to Mosaic as a student, and I was amazed how other kids would open themselves up to kids that they didn't know before. And I'm committed to Mosaic because I believe that kids can come together to change the world. And I know that I'll always remember Mosaic forever.